In the name of Allah, and Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm recording this video for you and sending its link to you in order to compensate for the lecture that you missed on Sunday, the 17th of November, because the topic is very important and it's going to be included for your midterm exam. So I hope that the video makes the concepts, the topics clear to you. Last time we stopped at 3.5 transitive and intransitive verbs. We explained the difference between them. We said that most active verbs are followed by an object and can be used in the active voice or passive voice, like the examples that we have here. For example, McKay created the first animated film. Create here is a transitive verb, therefore followed by an object, the first animated film. Here, the object is identified. Therefore, it can be used either in the active voice or in the passive voice in the second sentence. The first animated film was created in 1914. Another example of a transitive verb is draw. Walt Disney didn't draw his cartoons, the object. Then we can use the verb in a passive voice sentence. His cartoons were drawn by studio artists. He didn't draw them himself. So draw, because it is a transitive verb, it can be used either in the active voice or in the passive voice. On the other hand, there is a second type of verbs when we think of transitivity, and these are not usually followed by objects. We call them intransitive verbs. Because they do not have an object, they cannot be used in the passive. They are only used in the active voice statements. The examples uh, are beautiful and clear here. Like Disney lived in Hollywood most of his life. He became famous when he created Mickey Mouse. He worked with many artists and so on. So the following are also other examples of intransitive verbs: arrive, go, sleep, wait, rain, fall, and so on. Verbs which are not followed by an object and which are not used in the passive voice sentences. Um, there are other verbs which we call sense perception verbs. For example, look, appear, feel, sound, taste, smell, and seem. These are all intransitive verbs. Some animations look so real, we perceive them as real. So here is the meaning of look, or smell, we perceive it as fresh with our noses. These types of verbs are also intransitive and are not used in the passive. We somehow covered these concepts during the last lecture that we had, but we didn't talk about a type of verbs or some verbs that can be used in transitive or as transitive and intransitive verbs depending on their meanings. By the way, you can pause the video during watching it and read the examples in detail and then resume watching the video, because we may not be able to read every single example sentence and providing explanations to them. But because this is a video, you have the freedom and the flexibility to pause it and then to resume after taking your notes or thinking about the examples or analyzing them. So in this chart, we talk about types of verbs, those types of verbs which can be used as either transitive or intransitive verbs, but with different meanings, with slight differences in their meanings. The first example that we have here is someone left the DVD in the DVD player. It was left there last night. We have left followed by the DVD, which is an object here. This means that left is used as transitive verb with the meaning of leaving something remaining somewhere in a place. But when it is used as a transitive, an intransitive verb, sorry, when leave is used as an intransitive verb, it means going from one place to another place, moving from one place to another place. Let's say Disney left Kansas City in 1923. So this doesn't mean to make something remain in a place, but means to move, to go from a place to another place. That's why it is an intransitive verb. The third example, or the third sentence that we have, uh, the verb walk is used to explain the idea of having the same verb but used with different meanings, uh, so as to become either transitive or intransitive. We walked the dog when we got home. The dog was walked in the morning too. You see, because it is transitive, it can be used in the passive voice as well, either active or passive. Uh, so here, walk, I want you to think about it for a moment. Pause the video, search, look up the word in your dictionaries. When it has a transitive verb, sorry, when it is used as a transitive verb, what meaning does it have? After your own thoughts, I'm going to uh, tell you about the meaning. It means to make an animal in this sentence, to make the dog walk, to take it outside and have a walk with the dog. But when it is intransitive, it means to move, to go somewhere on foot. We walked to the theater near our house. In the second meaning, it is intransitive, and since it's intransitive, we cannot use it in the passive voice. We cannot say we were walked because we walked ourselves, we moved ourselves on foot. That's why it's not used in a passive voice. Change also can be used, one of those verbs that can be used either as a transitive verb or as an intransitive verb. When it is transitive, it means someone causes a change. When it is intransitive, as in the first example sentence, it is a natural process. The change occurs or happens in a natural process. Animation has changed a lot since the early days. The sentence here doesn't talk about who changed it, but in the second one, the janitor changed the light bulb. Someone changed something, caused the change. Therefore, because it's transitive, it can also be used in the passive voice. The bulb was changed last night. Another verb is move. Move can be intransitive or transitive. When someone causes the move, it is transitive. The janitor moved the chairs. Someone moved something. That's why it is transitive. The chairs were moved to another room. But in the first example, no one causes the move, but the move happens. Therefore, it is intransitive. When we use the verb born, we usually use it with verb to be. I was born, you were born, they were born, and so on. But we do not need to use verb to be with die. This is the last topic uh, or the last concept that was explained, presented in this chart. Please do the exercises because they help you better understand the topic. Now, and this reading is also very interesting and beneficial as well. Um, moving to 3.6, the passive voice with get, we can share the slides on the screen, and as if we're in class face to face, we will work on these sentences first and then go back to the chart. So let's compare these two sentences. I get paid every 2 months. My backpack got stolen last year. Are these sentences in the passive voice? When the questions appear, you can pause the video again and think about the answers and then resume the video. What do you think? Are they in the passive voice or in the active voice? I get paid every 2 months. My backpack got stolen last year. Did I stole my backpack or sorry, did I steal it or someone else stole my backpack? So the answer is they are in the passive voice. Yes, someone else did that. I get paid. Do I pay myself or someone else pays me? The company, the government, and so on. Yes, someone else pays me. I get paid. Therefore, it is in the passive voice. If we change get to verb to be, we say I am paid. My backpack was stolen. And you see verb to be plus the past participle, and here again verb to be plus past participle would mean uh, passive voice. Do you think, the second question, do you think these are formal written sentences or informal spoken sentences? Of course, after you post the video and have made some search or you have thought about it, you realize that these are informal spoken sentences. We don't usually find examples using get with the passive voice in formal speech or in formal writing. They are usually used in informal spoken sentences. Can you use a form of verb to be instead of get in these sentences? As we said, yes, we can. And now we can review the grammar chart, then convert each example with get to a passive voice sentence with a form of verb to be. The sentences that we have here, let me check if the recording still goes on. Yes, it does, fortunately. Yeah, the chart that we have here is 3.6. It says sometimes in conversation we sometimes use get instead of be with the passive. So instead of saying be paid, we can say get paid. Instead of saying be short, we can say get short. I think it was Yusuf, yes, it was Yusuf who asked me twice or three times about using get in the passive voice. And here it is, Yusuf, the uh, way that we use get in passive voice sentences. The examples here say a Hollywood uh, actor gets paid a lot of money. I saw a violent movie, but I didn't like it. A lot of people got shot. You see, instead of saying a lot of people were shot, an actor is paid, you can say gets paid or got shot. But I remind you that this is usually used in informal spoken sentences. He was shot by a cowboy. He got shot three times. What's the difference between these two sentences? The difference is that in the first one we have by plus agent, so there's an agent, but in the second one we don't have an agent. Therefore, if there is an agent, we usually use verb to be, not get. But when get is used, usually the agent is removed from the sentence, as you can see in the second one. In the third section of the chart, we have how much do actors get paid for a movie? This is an interrogative sentence, a sentence which is in the question form. Windsor McKay didn't get paid a lot of money. What we have here, didn't get paid, a negative sentence. So in these cases, when get is used and we want to form questions or negatives in the simple past and the simple present, we use do, does, or did. How much do actors? If we change actors to an actor, how much does an actor get paid for a movie? So, in the case of forming questions and negatives in the simple present and the simple past, we use do, does, or did. I hope that this is clear too. And by the way, you can post your comments uh, on the Google Classroom stream that I'm going to post the link on if you have any questions or comments. Right. There's this reading about Charlie Chaplin, the famous and well-known actor in silent movies. I think we all know the personality and the character. Now, after reading the text, we're going to talk about some participles which are used as adjectives. What do you see in this picture? What we have is some people, family, watching a movie. The movie is a scary one, a scary movie. But the children are scared. They experience the feeling of scared. So they are scared, but the movie is not scared. The movie is scary. It is scary. Scary movie, scared people. Right. So sometimes we can use adjectives or participles, scared, which is a past participle, but as an adjective. The children are scared. The children were scared. Okay. Moving to this slide, um, we can say these are two example sentences. This is an interesting movie. Are you interested in watching it with me? What class of words are interested and interesting in these two sentences? Interested and interesting. What's the class of the words? Think about it after you pause the video. Are they adjectives, adverbs, nouns, verbs, or what? Of course, they are adjectives. Another question is what word form is interesting? What word form is interested? The answer is, I think, clear to you. And it is in the first one we have present participle, and in the second one, interested is past participle. Okay, but how are they used? They're used as interesting movie, interested, after verb to be, they're used as adjectives. Now let's review the grammar chart 3.7 together. We have some nice examples to explain how participles, present participles, and past participles can be used as adjectives. Today's movies use advanced technology. You see that advanced is used before a noun. Technology is a noun, and advanced is used before it. Usually, when a word is used before a noun, it is an adjective. It describes the following noun. That's why it's called an adjective. Chaplin was not an educated man. You see, educated with ed, past participle, but it is used before a noun, and it is not the main verb. The main verb here is in the first example we have use. The second example we have verb to be. Therefore, we have words or past participles which are used as adjectives. The second part of the table that we have, Chaplin had an amazing life. In later life, he faced declining popularity. The present participle can also be used before nouns as adjectives. Great. Chaplin was extremely hardworking. He was a highly paid actor. You see, sometimes we can use adverbs before the participle. Extremely hardworking, highly paid. Um, and this is to add extra meaning to what we want to express. Chaplin's life interests me. Here, interest is a verb. So, in some cases, both the present participle and the past participle of the same verb can be used as an adjective. Interest can be used as interesting, the present participle, or as interested, past participle. Amuse is also an extra example. Amusing, amused. So Chaplin's life is interesting. I am interested in learning more about him. And in the case of using amuse, the little tramp was an amusing character. He did many amusing things, or we can say we saw his movie and we were amused. Great. So, as we said, as past participle or present participle. But what's the meaning? What's the difference in meaning between interesting and interested? Please pause the video and focus on the examples, try to understand their meanings, and then resume and listen to my explanations. Now, after pausing and resuming the video, I can say that the present participle in A, interesting, has an active meaning. It's similar to the Arabic ism al-fa'il, or in Kurdish, it has an active role like the subject, بكر, let's say. Well, not exactly like the subject, but a meaning which conveys someone doing something or something doing something to you, causing a feeling in you. So, someone or something actively causes a feeling in others. Chaplin's life is interesting. So, his life causes interest, the feeling of interest in me or other people. But the past participle, what's the meaning here? The past participle gives a passive meaning. It describes the person who passively experiences a feeling. Here in the example, we have I am interested in learning about his life. So I experience the feeling of being interested in something, passively experiencing that because his life is interesting. I am interested. And again, in Arabic, we have اسم المفعول الكردية وكو بركان هست بشتێکەکەی بە فیڵینگێک ئەەکەی کەواتە یەکەمیان هەستێک لا دروستەکە ئەگەر بە present participle بەکارهێنرا بوو بەڵام ئەگەر بە past participle بەکارهێنرا بوو تۆ هەست بۆ شعوراکەی بە شێوەی passive. Amusing, these are an amusing character. The little tramp was an amusing character. Causes the feeling of amusement. But in the second example, B, we saw his movie and we were amused. We passively felt being amused, experienced the feeling of being amused. Therefore, a person can cause a feeling in others, or he can experience a feeling, for example, being terrified. Charlie Chaplin was an interesting person, so Chaplin causes the feeling of being interested in others. Chaplin was interested in acting from a young age, so he experienced the feeling of being interested. I saw a scary movie and I was terrified, like the picture that we had. So a feeling, a person can experience the feeling of being terrified or any other adjective that we have on the list here below. I can be amazed, I can be amused, I can be annoyed. When I say I mean people in general. We can be puzzled, satisfied, surprised. But can a movie be frightened, for example? Can a movie be terrified? Can a movie be tired? Can a mobile phone be surprised? No. So the past participle is only used with people. Interested, amazed, annoyed, confused, excited is used with uh, people because we experience feelings. But on the other hand, the ing, the present participle, can be used with both people and things because someone can be interesting and something can also be interesting. A movie can be interesting. A mobile phone can be surprising, a new mobile phone. Tablets can be frustrating. It causes you to be frustrated. So the ing, the present participle, can be used with both people and non-human beings as well. While the second one, amazed, amused, confused, disappointed, because it doesn't have because an object doesn't have feelings, so it's not used with objects. It's used with people. People have feelings, and they're described with these past participle adjectives. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments. And don't forget to do the exercises. Exercise 13 is a good example, but before that, I think that exercise 12 is a good one to do. It asks us to use the verb in each sentence to make two new sentences. In one sentence, use the present participle, and in the other, use the past participle. Like number one, which is done. The movie entertained us. Here the verb is entertain. The movie was entertaining. We were entertained. Good. What about the second one? Violent movies frighten children. What is the verb here? Frighten. Great. Now we can write two sentences. Let me see if we can add anything here. زانين أهو شوية يارمتي من هذا بالأخوان دليتي بكين editing add a text. Yeah, this is not a good idea. So yeah, violent movies frighten children. We can say violent movies are frightening. Children are frightened by violent movies. But can we say violent movies are frightened? No, because movies, which are objects, do not have feelings. And we said that we cannot use the past participle or the ed form with objects. Chaplin amused the audience. In the first example, we can say Chaplin was amusing because it's in the past simple. So the verb to be which is used is was. He was amusing. All right. What about the audience? You see, the object, passive, the one that experiences the feeling. The audience was or were, if we consider them individual people, they were amused. Good. The adventure movie excited the audience. What's the verb here? Excited. Now let's describe the subject. The adventure movie was exciting. If we describe the object, the audience was or were excited. You see, when we describe the subject, the one who experiences or causes the feeling, sorry, not experiences, who causes the feeling, this caused the feeling. Therefore, we use the ing form with it. The adventure movie was exciting. But when we describe the object, the one that experienced the feeling, we say the audience was excited. All right. Let me see. Yeah. Number five. Number five, the TV show bored me. The TV show is the subject here. Bore or bored is the verb, and me is the object. Let's describe the subject. The TV show was, of course, boring, but I was bored. Bored here in the second example that we use is an adjective. The end of the movie surprised us. We first describe the subject and then the object, and the verb is surprised. Good. The end of the movie was surprising, but we were surprised. The movie confused her. Let's start with the first one. He was confused or confusing. What do you think? Of course, she was confused because she's the object. She is the one who experienced the feeling. But this entity, the movie, is the one that caused the feeling. Therefore, because it is active, we use the movie, we say the movie was confusing. Number 8 is the same as well. The movie was terrifying. They were terrified. And this one is also a good exercise to do. Therefore, I ask you to do exercise 13 as well. Moving to other past participles used as adjectives. These are only past participles, not present participles. Certain past participles can be used as adjectives after verb to be or other linking verbs. The linking verbs like become, grow, and so on, instead of or apart from be, besides be. The example here is no one knows the winners' names because the envelope is sealed. Here, sealed is a past participle which is used after is, and here it's used as an adjective to describe the envelope. The sealed envelope, you see, it can be also used before the noun. The sealed envelope will be opened on Oscar night. And here are some or a number of verbs which are usually or sometimes which are used as adjectives in the past participle form after verb to be or before the noun. The theater looks crowded. Look here is a linking verb. Guys, this is not verb to be, but it's a linking verb. Therefore, crowded is used as an adjective. I don't like to be in a crowded theater. As you can see, crowded is used before the noun theater, which makes it an adjective. So these verbs, the ones that we have in the first part of the chart, can be used before a noun or after verb to be, but others come after verb to be, but not usually before a noun. We're done with the DVD. We cannot use done before we, for example. It's only used after verb to be. The actress's dress is made of silk. You don't say the actress's maid dress is of silk or anything like that. And extra examples of those verbs are also given here. That was a well-made movie. The theater is extremely crowded. Adverbs can often precede past participles. We often can use adverbs like well or extremely before these past participle verbs. Right. We have this practice here that I want you to do. Complete the following sentences with the correct adverb. We said that some adverbs can be used before the past participles. Some of them can be used more than once. So please pause the video, do the items 1 through 8. The adverbs that we have are well, badly, over, under, newly, and widely. Pause the video and fill the gaps using these. Some of them can be used more than once. And then I'll show you the answers after you do them. These are the answers of the items of this practice. Get versus be with past participles and other adjectives. We have an example sentence which says Justin is married. In this sentence, verb to be plus the past participle describes Justin's status right now, his situation. Is he married or is he single? He's married. So this is his status or position or situation over a period of time. But if we say Justin got married in 2007, what does get plus the past participle mean here? Please think about it. Here in the first one we said he is married, but in the second sentence he got married in 2007. Means he became married. The verb get here means become. So there is a difference. This is not uh, like the other case that we studied on 3.6. We said be and get can be used with the same meaning in the past participle. But when they're used with past participles and other adjectives, uh, when the past participle is used as an adjective, not as the main verb of the sentence, therefore we have differences in meaning. So he got married means he became married in 2007, something that happened in the past but may not have continued until now. Justin may not be married now. We can change the name to someone else, to Jack. Jack got married in 2007, but now he isn't married. So this is talking about a specific time in the past. But verb to be plus an adjective or a past participle means the situation or the status right now. Let's take other examples. Julia is hungry. What does the verb to be plus the adjective hungry describe? Of course, the status. Now she's hungry. Julia got hungry at 11 a.m. But when did she become hungry? At 11, at that specific point of time. Now, if we review the examples that we have in the chart, we can see the difference between them. Please read them through. The explanations are all simple and clear, but the note needs to be explained, I think. Here, what we have in the explanation is what we just explained in the slides. Past participles with get, these are some examples, and these are examples of adjectives with get as well. But notice the difference between to be married, to marry, and to get married. Three different forms or three different ways of using the verb marry in different situations and meanings. The first example, the actor is married. To be married means to describe someone's status right now. Now the actor is married. When did she marry? She or whom did she marry? She married her co-star secretly last summer. So the verb marry is followed by an object when it's not preceded by get or by verb to be. When it is used as the main verb without anything else, it is usually followed by an object. She married her co-star. She married Jack secretly last summer. It's followed by a name, let's say. But when it's preceded by get, they got married in Scotland. Get married is not followed by an object. It talks about when it happened in the past. They got married in the Scotland or where it happened in the past. So it's about a point in the past, as we said. It's in the past simple tense. Right. So these are mainly the topics that remained in this unit, Unit 3. And since you didn't come to class, I thought that you deserve to have a video because it's included the exam and they're important topics and you may not be able to understand them on your own or you may be, but the video will hopefully provide you with more meaningful ideas. Now there is a note on the exam. There can be different types of questions, and by this I mean that the questions can be uh, about practice or about theory as well. Practice is you have a gap to fill in, a choice to make. But by theory, I mean, for example, I may ask you, when do we use the present perfect? What are the uses of the passive voice? And similar questions. We can have questions that ask you for example sentences. We can have questions that may ask you to change active voice to passive voice sentences. We can have gaps. We can have multiple choice questions, and so on. So be prepared to those types of questions, please. I may ask you to write a paragraph in the midterm exam or in the final exam or both sittings of exams. These are mainly the types of questions that you may face when you take or sit on the exam. And with that, we come to the end of this video. Thank you very much for your time, and don't hesitate to ask questions if you have any. Thank you, and good luck to everyone, and bye bye.